We are Jack and Janice Herring, and we've been married 56 years.
Yeah, I'm Terry Donis, my wife Phyllis. We've been married 53 years this coming August.
We are Russ and Judy Cockrum. Been married 52 years next month.
We are Garland and Marquita Lynch. We've been married going on 51 years.
One of the really great things about being married is that we get a chance to talk about, and we do it frequently, about things that we have seen God work in our lives.
Well, I think the best thing about being married 50 years is we've gotten to love one another a bit longer the longer we've stayed together. You got to learn to laugh together, you got to learn to cry together, and you got to be willing to just be accepted with one another and their problems.
Given some like 50 years, you've now got somebody in your life that knows you and understands you, and for whatever reason, they're not leaving. They're accepting you the way they are.
One of the best things is that all of your memories that you have for 50 plus years, you wouldn't have that if you hadn't stayed together. And we review what we've done and where we've been, and we have all of that to experience with one another over and over and over again.
Even though I threw up on the tilt-a-whirl on our first date, she let me kiss her anyway. Okay? So, you know, when things are going bad, you remember that stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you know, people say that there's no conflict sometimes in marriage, and that's a lie, because there is conflict. You can see it in your own children. There are no two children alike. They disagree with things, and we've learned that if we have a conflict with one another, we kind of step away, and we just go away for a while and kind of think about it and get back together. And maybe the things that we had conflict over weren't really that important.
I was a door slammer, and I would leave the room and run, fight or flight. I wasn't a fighter, I was a runner. And I had to learn to stay and talk it through and admit my fault and forgive. But I had a bigger purpose, and I had to be more intentional because my goal was to stay married, and that was more important than any disagreement we ever had.
Conflict a lot of times is a lot about stubbornness. You know, you haven't had to compromise with someone else usually until you got married, and then all of a sudden it's, wow, I can't do or say what I want to do. We have to work it out together, and that's hard sometimes because we were just 18 and 19, and
I was in love.
but not enough in love to let me have my way all the time.
We shouldn't blame the other person and attack the other person. We should just simply attack the problem and go for a solution that we both can agree upon.
Yeah, we finally got to the place to where the issue that was in conflict was much less important than the relationship.
We've learned that whatever you call the successful marriages, it's not like they never had any problems. They managed to work through the problems.
Stayed through it.
Yeah.
When we finally accepted Christ and our faith deepened, and we realized it was how important marriage was, we re-evaluated marriage. We started making more of a commitment to each other, to allow each other to be themselves, and kind of freeing each other to be themselves, but also giving each other permission to bring correction and to work together on conflict.
You spend a lot of time in your relationship and your communication, letting the other person know that you are their number one fan, and that you appreciate and value who they are and what they do.
Her happiness had to become more important than my happiness. And sometimes that's just a choice. But after a while, her happiness becomes the source of my happiness.
You're going to reap more dividends if you put out 100% for your spouse. You know, take care of her car, put the gasoline, you know, whatever, chores around the house. You're going to reap dividends.
We are a team. It's best to compromise and to want the best for each other. There's no mine and yours, it's ours.
Just like the 1980 Olympics, that announcer said, "Do you believe in miracles?" I got one. I thank God.